of the product size alone. So we have calculated time of development and effort, and we know that time of development formula is what? You have done the time of development formula, that is 2.4 into KLOC. For organic, it is 2.4 KLOC to the power 1.05 per month. Okay. And for semi-detached, it's like 3.0 KLOC to the power 1.12. And for embedded, it is 3.6 KLOC 1.20. So these are the three values of effort for basic COCOMO model. Okay. And we have also calculated the time of development. Okay, that is 2.5 effort to the power 0.38 months. Next, for semi-detached, it is like 2.5 effort to the power 0.35 months. And for the embedded, it's like 2.5 effort to the power 0.32 months. Okay, these are the values. So a host of other project parameters beside the product size affect the effort required to develop the product as well as the development time. Okay, so therefore, in order to obtain an accurate estimation of the effort and project duration, the effect of all relevant parameters must be taken. So the intermediate COCOMO model recognizes this fact and refines the initial estimate obtained using the basic COCOMO expressions by using a set of 15 cost drivers based on various attributes of software development. So if we take an example, if modern programming practices are used, the initial estimates are scaled downward by multiplication with a cost driver having value less than 1. So if there are stringent reliability by multiplication with a cost driver having a value less than 1, this initial estimate is scaled upward. Okay. So basically, we know Boehm, who is the inventor of this COCOMO model, requires the project manager to rate these 15 different parameters of a particular project on a scale of 1 to 3. So then, depending on these ratings, he suggested appropriate cost driver values which should be multiplied with the initial estimate obtained using the basic COCOMO. So in general, the cost drivers can be classified as being attributes of the different. There are three types. One is product. Okay. So the characteristics of the product that are considered included the inherent complexity of the product, reliability requirements of the product, etc. Next one is computer. So characteristics of the computer that are considered include the execution speed required, storage space required, etc. And next one is personnel. So the attribute of development personnel that are considered include the experience level of personnel, programming capability, analysis capability, etc. And the fourth one is the development environment. Okay. So development environment attributes capture the development facilities available to the developers. An important parameter that is considered is the sophistication of the automation known as DASC. Okay. Computer aided software. Computer aided software engineering. Okay. Tools used for software development. So already we have discussed the basic ideas behind the COCOMO model, and you know that. So basically, a detailed discussion on the COCOMO model are actually next is about if modern practices are used. Okay, initial estimates are scaled downwards, as I said. So these are the functionalities of intermediate COCOMO. So rate different parameters on a scale of 1 to 3. So depending on this value, so this is first value. Then see what I said: product, customer, computer, personal, and development. And these are actually the shortcomings of basic COCOMO and intermediate COCOMO are like this. Both models considers a software product as a single homogeneous entity. However, most large systems are made up of several smaller subsystems. So some subsystems may be considered as organic type, some may be considered as embedded type. So for some, the reliability requirements may be high and so on. Next is complete COCOMO. Next topic is complete COCOMO. So we have seen that a major shortcoming for both the basic and the intermediate COCOMO models is that they consider a software product as a single homogeneous entity. However, most large systems are made up of several smaller subsystems. So these subsystems may have widely different characteristics. For example, we see some subsystems may be considered as organic type, some are semi-detached while some are embedded. So not only that the inherent development complexity of the subsystems may be different, but also for some subsystems, the reliability requirements may be high. For some, the development team might have no experience of similar development, and for some and so on. Okay, so these are the problems that any team can get. Also, the complete COCOMO model considers these differences in characteristics of the subsystems and estimates the effort and time of development as the sum of the estimates for the individual subsystems. Okay, so see here, basically an example of complete COCOMO is MIS, which is also called Management Information System. For an organization having offices at several places of the country, like database part is called semi-detached, graphical user interface or GUI part is included in organic, and communication part is included in embedded. Okay, so costs of these components are estimated separately, summed up to give the overall cost of the system. So basically, of this, the communication part, okay, this communication part can be considered as an embedded software. The database could be of semi-detached software, and the graphical user interface part can be considered as an organic software. So the costs of actually to improve the accuracy of their results, the different parameter values of the models can be fine-tuned and validated against an organization's historical project database to obtain more accurate estimations. So estimation models such as COCOMO are not accurate and lack a full scientific justification. Still, software cost estimation models such as COCOMO are required for engineering approach to software project management, and companies consider computed estimates to be satisfactory if these are within 80% of the final cost. So these estimates are rough approximations. Without such models, only one has subjective judgment. So this is about COCOMO. Okay, next. This is all about COCOMO, that is basic COCOMO, then intermediate COCOMO, then complete COCOMO. Okay. Next is, we have seen that there are three types of approaches. One is analytical approach, another one is heuristic approach, and we have seen that COCOMO is a part of heuristic approach. Okay, we have already seen that. So next, analytical approach technique, Halstead software science is coming. So what is Halstead software science? It is an analytical technique to measure size, development effort, and development cost of software products. Okay, so this is about Halstead software science. Halstead used a few primitive program parameters to develop the expressions for overall program length, potential minimum volume, actual volume, language level, effort, and development time. Okay, these are the expressions. So for a given program, you see, for a given let this one is the N1, okay? N1 be the number of unique operators used in the program, and N2 be the number of unique operands produced in the program. You know what is operator A plus B, okay? In here, the operator is what? Operator is plus one, so it's plus. So here N1 is the plus sign and operand is what? A and B. So A and B is N2, okay? Just for example, okay, we are taking. So now capital N1 is be the total number of operands used in the program, and capital N2 be the total number of, sorry, capital N1 is the total number of operators used in the program, and capital N2 is the total number of operands used in the program. Although the terms operators and operands have intuitive meanings, a precise definition of these terms is needed to avoid ambiguities. So we would not be able to provide a precise definition of these two terms. Okay. So there is no general agreement among the researchers on what is the on what is the most meaningful way to define the operators and operands for different programming languages. So a few general guidelines regarding identification of operators and operands for any programming language can be provided. So, for example, assignment, arithmetic, and logical operators are usually counted as operators. A pair of parentheses as well as a block begin, block and block begin and block end pair are considered as single operators. A label is considered to be an operator if it is used as the target of a go-to statement. So you know in C there is a go-to statement, and we generally do not use go-to statement because it is a very bad practice to use go-to statement. But here, so that's why the constructs if, then, else, we know that if, then else, okay, then end if, okay, end if and a while do are considered as single operators. A sequence operator is considered as a single operator, and subroutine declarations and variable declarations comprise the operands. Function name in a function call statement is considered as an operator, and the arguments of the function call are considered as operands. However, the parameter list of a function in the function declaration is not considered as operands. So generally, we would we would consider to be the set of operators and operands for the ANSI C language. So, however, it should be realized that there is considerable disagreement among the various researchers in this regard. So, we need to remember. So, there, let's just see what are the operands and are included here. So, sorry, opening, then third bracket, then dot, then this, then multiplication, then plus, then minus, then this not, then not. Sorry, this is complement, then not, then plus. Sorry, this plus, then minus, then multiplication, then division, then modulo, then plus, then minus, then double less than, then double greater than, then less than, then greater than, then less than equal to, greater than equal to, not equal to, double equal to, and power or and or equal to division equal to plus equal to minus equal to less than equal to double less than equal to double greater than equal to and equal to the bar equal to odd equal to 2 dot this this case default if it's switch while do for go to continue break return and a function name in a function call. Okay, so operands are those variables and constants which are being used with operators in expressions. So variable names appearing in declarations are not considered as operands. Okay, so let us consider one example. A comma sorry A equals to A equals to and B semicolon. Okay, so here what are the operands? Operands are the A and B. These are the operands. Okay, and this equal to and these are the operators. Okay, so you need to remember. Similarly, one example if you consider. Okay, so let's just take one example. Int function. Okay, this is an example. Int function int A comma int B bunch of statements. Okay. So that is the above example code here. See this opening and closing braces and this brackets are the operators here. Okay, and the A and B are operands here. A and B are operands here. Okay. Similarly, so these are the examples, and from which you can see that which one is operands, which one is operators, which one if you are given a function example. Okay. So this is nums work. Okay, nums work. So some actually this is the name of a scientist. So okay, I missed it. Okay, Rayleigh curve. Okay, so if you see that there is a first of all see it is actually used for staffing level estimation. Okay, for staffing level estimation we use one curve, that is Rayleigh's curve. Okay. So once the effort required to develop a software has been determined, it is necessary to determine the staffing requirement for the project. Okay, so Putnam was the first to study the problem of what should be a proper staffing pattern for software projects. He extended the work of just a second, student. So he extended the work of Norden, who had earlier investigated the staffing pattern in general research and development type of projects. Okay, so in order to appreciate the staffing pattern of software projects, we must first understand the Norton's work, and another one is Putnam's work. Okay, so Norton's work is based on this Rayleigh's curve. Okay, so here Norden studied the staffing patterns of several research and development projects, and he found out that the staffing pattern can be approximated by the Rayleigh's curves. Okay, so what is Rayleigh's curve? So basically it is a curve which is denoting the time and effort pattern, that is time in the x-axis and effort in the y-axis. So see here, there is a formula for Rayleigh's curve. Okay, here we have given L equal to Fk comma Td. Okay, Td is what it is in suffix, so you can write effort, that is E, effort E according to Rayleigh's curve proposed by Norden. E equals to K by Td. Okay, T and then suffix D. This is not T into D. Okay, don't forget. That is a function. Here it is written L equal to F K comma Td. It is a function of K, that is the total area under the curve, and the time at which the curve reaches at maximum point. Okay, so this is the Td, this is Td. So here you can see that it can be written like E equals to K by T to T D whole square into T into E to the power minus T square by 2T D square. So post this formula. Okay, so here E is what? E is the effort required at time t. Okay, so E is an indication of the number of developers or the staffing level at any particular time during the duration of the project. Okay, K is the area under the curve, Td is the time at which the curve attains its maximum value. It must be remembered that the results of Norden are applicable to general research and development projects and were not meant to model the staffing pattern of software projects. Okay, so this is about Rayleigh's curves proposed by Norden. Next one is Putnam's work. Okay, so Putnam's work, according to Putnam studied the problem of staffing of software projects and found that the software development has characteristics very similar to any other research and development project studied by Norton, and that the Rayleigh-Norton curve can be used to relate the number of delivered lines to the delivered lines of code to the effort and the time required to develop the product. Okay, so by analyzing a large number of army projects, Putnam derived formula. Okay, Putnam derived this expression. These are in suffix. Okay, Don't get confused with this. It's like L equals to Ck k to the power 1 by 3, then Td to the power 4 by 3. Okay. So this is the expression. So basically here the various terms of this expression are like, see here, first is K is the effort expended and L is the size in KLOC. So here K is the total effort expended in person month. Remember the unit, that is in person month, is in the product development, and L is the product size or in KLOC. Okay. Next TD is corresponds to the time of system and integration and testing. So therefore TD can be approximately considered as the time required to develop the software, and CK is the state of technology constant and reflects constraints that impede the progress of the program. So typically values of CK that is equals to, if you are putting 2 for poor development environment, so no methodology, poor documentation and review, etc. So if CK is equals to 8, okay, then it is for good software development, that is software engineering principles are adhered there, and CK equals to 11, if you are giving 11 value to CK, okay, that is an excellent environment, for an excellent environment. So in addition to the following software engineering principles, automated tools and techniques are used. Okay, so the exact value of CK for a specific project can be computed from historical data of the organization developing it. Okay, CK equal to 2 for poor development, CK equal to 8 for good software development, and CK equal to 11 is for excellent environment. So this is about this Putnam and Putnam's model. So students, is it clear to everyone? Students?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear? Any
Ma'am,
doubts?
can you explain it again, ma'am?
Which one?
मैम वो जो वैल्यू वाला वो जो अभी दिखा रहे थे वो मतलब मैंने करेक्ट मेरे कहने का है कि वो सीके वाला जो है ना, वो 2 जो है वो
व्हाट इज सीके? सी देखो यहाँ पे देखो, ये एक एक्सप्रेशन है। पुटनम एक साइंटिस्ट है जो स्टाफिंग एस्टिमेशन लेके एक काम किया था, ठीक है, एंड ही हैज गिवन एन एक्सप्रेशन एंड द एक्सप्रेशन इज लाइक दिस. ओके, सो दैट इज सीके k to the power 1 by 3 and td to the power 4 by 3. What is k? K, you know that k is the total effort. Okay, total effort we are calculating, that is k, and that unit should be in person month. Okay, and actually, and next is we, and whatever we are calculating, that unit should be in KLOC. Okay, kilo lines of code. Okay, so here next, that is the L is the product size. Next TD is the time. Okay, time taken for system and integration testing, and CK is the state of technology constant. Okay, state of technology constant. So it is basically a constant. So in exam you will be given K and TD, and you need to calculate the size by having, you know that if you are given a good software environment, okay, that is, or if you are given an excellent software environment, or if you are given a poor software development environment, based on the values of CK, so you know that CK is equals to 2 for poor and development environment, is equals to 8 for good software development environment, and equals to 11 for excellent software development. Now in exam, if you are given that it is having an excellent environment, so in that case you will be giving this value and calculating the L. That is a product size, but in kilo lines of code. Okay, KLOC. So this is the value of secret. Is it clear, Mithilesh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So that's all for today's class today. So I am let me download the attendance list. Okay, Shuman, are you there?